Doggy. Doggy.
Angel.
Oh, there you go. He doesn't speak English. Hello hikers, welcome back to African Hiker. I'm Manita and I make videos about various hiking trails in Africa. Today we are going to be tackling the highest peak in the Eastern Cape, KwaDuma. Standing at 3,019 meters above sea level in the Drakensberg mountain range. KwaDuma is one of the peaks that you will have to climb if you want to do the 9 Peaks challenge. We arrived in Mount Fletcher to meet up with our local guide Tabase. We spent the night before the hike at a homestay in the village.
Like, wow.
My room was simple with only a double bed and a candle on a tin on the floor. But it was immaculate. I should have filmed it, but I'm only a part-time YouTuber. The trail starts just behind the village, and because there are so many shepherds in the area grazing their animals, all the trails seem to lead to the mountain. The hike to the peak is 15 kilometers. We could have easily done it in one go on Saturday. In fact, that was the plan. But I soon noticed that there's no such thing as in a hurry in these parts. Tabase has a wealth of knowledge about the wildlife and the birds and the culture of the people in this area, both the South African side and the Lesotho side. He is passionate about the history of the area, and soon enough this peak bagging weekend turned into an insightful cultural hike.
So this is the burning incense. We call it impepo. So it's got many uses. Just get the smell.
Here, smell.
The Bushmen, the indigenous people of Africa, when they are sleeping, they were inhaling the smoke so that they can have good dreams. Yeah, some other people, they are using it for connecting and talking to their ancestors.
We contoured along the Drakensberg mountainside, hiking on one of the many trails used by the locals. I honestly fell head over heels for this place.
Whoa, this wind. We're walking directly into it.
KwaDuma is my favorite of the 9 peaks because you step into a whole other reality. This southern side of the Drakensberg is so remote that life goes on with very little interaction from the rest of the world. Not only will the rolling green hills leave you awestruck from the beauty and magnitude, but there's a spiritual element to KwaDuma's allure.
Whoa. The wind. At least wind means no rain.
I carried a perfectly ripe avocado in my hand all the way from Johannesburg. Even during the hike, I had it in my hand. The group referred to it as my baby. At about 8 kilometers into the hike, we stopped to set up camp. In between the howls of the wind, we heard dogs barking and then saw them running towards us. When the dogs reached us, they held their ground, but continued to bark. As soon as the shepherd called out, they immediately stopped and went about their business with zero interest in us. The only other time I have come across dogs that are this obedient was in Germany.
And how many are there jackals?
No, it depends. But
Wait, so the jackals only eat liver, or do they only eat jackal liver?
No, the jackals, that's what they say. Jackals, when they're killed,
They only eat the liver.
only.
Okay.
And leave it like that.
but leave what?
Yeah.
The rest of the body.
Leave the sheep there, the rest of the
Okay.
body.
So what do they kill usually?
Where did the dog go?
The jackals. What do they eat? Which animals do they have? Sheep. Yeah, but how many times do they kill the sheep?
Maybe that's why sheep farmers have such a problem with them. Because they're just coming every day to eat sheep.
Liver.
Maybe sheep liver is worth it.
Can't survive on liver alone.
Well,
But
it's
it does.
probably the most nutritious part of an animal.
No.
Yeah.
Then how many livers do you kill in your lifetime as a jackal?
Well, do you know how small they are? They just eat every now and then.
Then how many sheep do you kill?
Sometimes you supplement with rabbit liver.
Yeah.
I'm slightly disappointed that neither of them are laughing at what I'm saying. Anyway, I googled it and it's half true. You see, jackals don't move their prey once they've killed it. They eat it in that spot. And they like to go in at the stomach and eat the softer meats first, like the liver and organs. And when left undisturbed, they will eat the whole animal. But since these sheep are cared for, the jackals are usually interrupted, and therefore it appears as if they only eat the liver.
Do you know what's going through my head right now? That sleeping in the tent, which is right over there, you can't see it in the dark.
What?
No, sleeping in the tent when there's lightning on the escarpment is not the safest thing to do. The current will run through our bodies, but it's far away, so it will be fine.
The next day we woke up bright and early and headed off to the peak. It is relatively easy hiking and typical of the Drakensberg escarpment. There is livestock around, but they lessen as you get closer to the peak, which is near the Lesotho borderline.
So over there, we just walk across there, round that ridge, like in between, round, and the peak is directly opposite to that one.
In total, our elevation gain was 1,621 meters. It is not the highest peak in South Africa, but it feels like you're on top of the world, especially when looking out to the sea of clouds below. The Drakensberg never disappoints. One thing I found was that everybody we encountered along the way was warm and welcoming. Oh, and so helpful. We had a few hiccups along the way, and there was no shortage of helping hands. Once we were down the mountain and back home where we had spent the night, we were greeted with a hot meal. They slaughtered one of their chickens for us. It touched my heart how generous the community is. KwaDuma is part of the most remote area of the Drakensberg. To come here, you have to have your wits about you. It is complete wilderness. Check out my Mount Fletcher video for all the hikes that you could do in this area. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.
Back inside.
Wow.
The shepherd isn't here, we're just using his house, but he knows we're here.